I think that's what it
calling
is.
me.
That's the duck one.
It's the robot. It sounds like a duck. It does.
Sounds like a robotic duck.
It doesn't sound like a robot at all.
Yeah, I've never heard a robot sound like that at all.
But it and the stock.
Maybe like an Apple robot, I guess.
Yeah, it says.
What if
robot.
that was Steve Jobs' soul, like crying out?
Dan, they should have a Steve Jobs ringtone.
Rest in peace to Steve Jobs.
Is Steve Jobs canceled?
I don't think he ever got canceled. Like, he didn't live long enough to, like, experience the cancel culture of things. He was, like, a genius. I read his biography.
Yeah.
Shit was fire, but he was kind of an asshole. He was a major asshole. But he single-handedly changed the world, though.
Yeah.
Everybody has a fucking iPhone.
Yeah, but sometimes
allowed
I
to
think,
cuss?
is it good?
Yeah.
Like, would we be better off without iPhones? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
In some ways, yes, but I feel like it's allowed our communication to evolve to a different level because now I can directly face-to-face communicate with somebody in a different country. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even though I don't have any friends, well, I know people in different countries, but I don't have like any friends that I talk to in different countries through FaceTime. So even though I said that, it's like not benefiting me at all.
Your sister's not in England anymore?
No, she's in Portland. Yeah, but when she was in England, I got to use the benefit for that time she was there. But
maybe our lives would be better if we lost. I mean, there's obviously the good of that in that, but maybe.
I feel like we would still find something though. We would still find a replacement because it's interesting. I saw not too long ago, or it was probably some years ago. I remember I was seeing a picture, and it was of like people in like the 1940s or 50s, right? And they were I think they were at like a concert or whatever, and everybody had like a camera out.
Yeah.
Like everybody was taking, and it was like the original Kodak camera or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But everybody's at this music show taking pictures, and it's like we're doing the same thing, like with just it was like the same thing as an iPhone taking pictures of like a concert, not being in it. It was like the same thing.
Right.
So I feel like we would find a replacement if we didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like humans were addicted to like memories.
Yeah.
Because that's all life is a bunch of memories, right? And so we can capture these moments.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like it's the camera aspect that everybody loves. It's not even the phone aspect. It's the fact that we can capture moments and then share these moments.
Oh, dude, that's what most people are doing on their phone is capturing their own.
Yeah, we don't even use our phones for phone stuff anymore.
No.
We use our phones for Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
And beefing with people and being woke.
It really is funny that it's called a phone, but it's not even. That's not the main purpose anymore.
It's a freaking machine.
Yeah.
It's a supercomputer. It's just because if you would have shown, like, if you would have said, like, because I was born in '93, so I remember like the 90s, like somewhat or whatever.
Right.
And like in '99,
6-year-old Jordan.
6-year-old Jordan was like, what's even a phone? Like, what's text messaging and stuff?
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, 20 years later, we have like literally access to every bit of information that's on the internet in our pockets.
Yeah. I still feel like it was the amount of usage back then was just, like the camera thing, right? Like at the concert, they'd take one maybe or two.
Yeah.
But some people have their phones out, like they're recording like every song.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's weird to go to like a concert or even a live performance type of event. Yeah. And people were like recording the entire thing. Because first I like wonder, like, what do you do with the footage? Because I know like when I was like, I first had a cell phone that had a camera and stuff when I was a teenager. I was recording stuff. I never did anything at all with like these pictures from this like Kid Cudi show or whatever.
Right.
I never did anything. Nobody ever saw them. I probably looked at them 3 times after the fact that I took them.
Yeah.
It's strange to me.
And there's better ones out there, like especially with all these festivals, they're all being professionally recorded. So you're not gonna get
a better quality photo than the photographer that's getting paid $2,000 to be here.
I mean, really, what you should be just taking pictures of yourself. Like those are the only memories that are worth. Yeah. Especially when you look back at like parents, like old like photo albums and stuff, and they're just like, they'll have like a picture of like a scenery or something, or like, dude, you'll see people taking pictures of like the Mona Lisa at a museum or something. Like, what is that for? Like, it's already out there.
Yeah, it's strange.
Take a selfie with the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I went to Europe before COVID popped off and everything, and I remember my older sister was like, "Oh, take pictures," and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna take like a few photos, but I'm trying. Like, I've never been to Europe, and these, like, I'm in Rome, and there's 2,000-year-old buildings everywhere. You know, I'm not trying to be on my phone.
Yeah.
Taking this because it's like I'm here right now. Like, I don't need to. And it's not like I'm gonna go through for me personally, I'm not gonna go through my phone and be looking at the pictures of the Colosseum on my phone and be like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I'm gonna do. But I'm always gonna have the memory of oh, I was at the Colosseum.
Yeah.
And I was at, you know, like Via Quintilian, you know, deep cut for Roman heads out there. You know what I'm saying?
So what sort of things, if it's not like a photo of what you saw, what sort of things do you think are worth capturing?
I feel like my niece, because she's a baby, and babies be growing fast. You know, babies grow so fast. But I feel like interesting things. Like, for me, like when I was going through Europe, whatever, like the dope artwork, I saw that I'm not going to be able to Google.
Oh,
you know, stuff like that
stuff.
that you can't find on the internet, you know, like something that is on this particular block in this street in London or whatever. Yeah. You know, I'll take photos of stuff like that, but the general thing that I could literally Google to see, I'm not going to take a photo of. I'm going to enjoy the moment of being there and the energy of it, but I'm not going to take a photo because I don't need a photo of it. This is something they have documentaries, you know, like I don't need. But certain stuff that like doesn't get talked about, it's like, okay, I'll because nobody talks about this, nobody knows about this. There's really no like photos or video or certain stuff, you know. I'm weird about certain things.
No, I get you. And it's the people that you go with. So you take a picture of your niece in front of the Eiffel Tower or something. That'd be cool. That's something to hold on to, maybe. Yeah,
and everybody has like the generic. It's interesting to see whenever you go to something that's considered like a tourist city or whatever, and you see this like people doing the same exact like photo in front, the same exact pose.
Yeah.
It's strange to me because we're just all you know, but like I want to go and do the alt version of something, you know. Like I went to Paris and I decided that my number one thing would be to go to Jim Morrison's gravesite because nobody talks about that.
I didn't.
And he's in the same grave as I think. It may be wrong, but Oscar Wilde, I think. Some legendary poet he's in the same gravesite with, which was dope. Yeah. Dope as fuck to me. You know, and I took a drunk selfie in front of the Eiffel Tower that's really low quality and everything. But everybody like goes to the back lawn of it and does the, you know, all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, and more power to you. More power to you, but I don't know.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I mean, we got those things even in Austin. There's certain like walls.
Yeah, the I love you so much.
Right.
And, And
that's cool.
That's cool.
Whatever. Kinda.
Yeah, but it's weird. I feel like Instagram made stuff weird because you see like everybody with essentially the same exact like type of stuff on their IG or whatever, and nothing against that either, but I see Instagram as like another stage to perform on to a degree, you know, and so I want it to be because I just see everything from like a performance like art piece standpoint or whatever, and so I see my Instagram in particular as people come here to be like, this is something different, this is something cool, this is something like unique, you know, this isn't the Starbucks selfie like type stuff, or you know, pictures of me eating pho or whatever. You know, I try to keep just like, this is another stage for me to perform on, so how can I make this something unique for people to enjoy or whatever. And
right. Yeah, and express yourself in some.
Yeah, because like
way.
social media can fuck with your head, man. I realized that I was like sabotaging myself because I was subconsciously comparing myself to other people on social media, and it's just a highlight reel, and I was like, "What? This is stupid for me to be doing because this is everybody's highlight reel, and I'm just stressing myself out from doing this in this moment and stuff."
It's interesting how like my relationship with social media, which that was just a weird ass thing I just said. Relationship with social media.
It does feel like a relationship though. You're like, man, this bitch IG getting on my nerves today, son.
Yeah. But it's interesting what like Instagram specifically, like it started off as like a photography app. It was just for photographers. And I always think it's interesting how it started off, people were taking pictures and it was like an insight into what you're viewing. And then at some point it flipped to almost every picture on Instagram on someone's profile now, for the most part, is pictures that somebody else took of them. So it's like, it's not through your lens, it's everybody else pointing back at you, which is interesting. And I'm guilty of that as well.
I'm super guilty of it.
But it's just interesting. Page. And sometimes I want to flip it around and be like, not just pointing back at me, and you do a great job of this, but pointing at other people. Yeah. What are you seeing that you're a fan of? And instead of just, me, let me promote this, check me out. You do a great job of saying, hey, check out this comic. This guy's my friend. He's hilarious.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Like, because that's the thing with comedy. That's the beauty of stories, though, is because, like, okay, I can have my main stage production on my Instagram page, my main page or whatever. But on my story, I can, like, promote more of my stuff. It's expected because it's me, but I can also like tell people about people I think are dope. Yeah. Because that's the biggest thing for me is community with stuff, and especially like in this thing we do called comedy, because we're the outcast of outcasts, you know. Because like I studied theater in college, and I felt like an outcast amongst a bunch of theater kids, and they're all bunch of weirdos, you know. Yeah. But I even felt ostracized and like a loner even amongst like
the ultra weirdo.
Yeah, you know. But honestly, actors are annoying to be around. It's just annoying to be around. But I believe in the comedians in Austin, Texas, like a lot. There's so much like talent out here. Yeah. Comedy. You're one of the like the first like comics I was like, that dude's fucking dope. That
thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, that means a lot.
Yeah, for real, man. It's like I'm not like too cool for anything or anybody. Like I'm not too cool to support. I'm not too cool to like post somebody on my page to let other people know, because I mean, you know, as comedians, like we'll be booked on shows like that. You'll be booked on a show and I'll be booked on a different show the same night or whatever. Yeah. But you know, if somebody's wants to go to like something else, it's like, I don't even give a fuck if it's on the same night as my show. Like, support comedy, you know, support the comedians out here, because we're this is a whole like moment that's happening, I feel like, in entertainment history right now in Austin, which is tight. I feel like in 10 years people are going to talk about like, yo, you remember what happened in Austin in the early 2020s and stuff with comedy, and how all this talent migrated out here, and even like the bigger comics, they're supporting the comics coming up in the scene. Yeah, too, for sure. You know, and it's a rare opportunity, because I started in LA, and that was not happening in LA, and there wasn't this type of camaraderie in the LA scene like there is in the Austin scene. There was dope comics in LA, and I met a bunch of I met one in particular like dope group of people that were comedians in LA called Goon Squad. You know, Victor Martinez Jr. He's a part of their group out in LA. Yeah, that's where I met him. He used to run this sketchy mic in LA called the Garage Mic.
Oh yeah.
Behind a Food for Less, and it would start at like 11:30 p.m. midnight, go until 3 a.m. Anywhere between 30 to 50 people would show up, and maybe 5 people would actually watch comedy, and everybody else is in this alley barbecuing, doing drugs, fighting, all types of shit. It was a wild time, but it was like one of the hardest mics too in LA because nobody was there to like watch it was a mic, but nobody was there to really support the comedians that were performing. But if you could get their attention and get everybody to shut up, it was kind of like, oh, I'm doing something kind of good. Because it was like they're not there to laugh at you at all. They're not there to, they don't care about you. But yeah, so LA's like scene doesn't have near as much like camaraderie and community, it feels like, as the Austin scene does. Everything's more spread out there too. Yeah, like the mics are all spread out, the stages are more spread. There's more like places to perform to a degree, but at the same time you got to drive 45 minutes in this direction and then another 30 minutes west and then 30 minutes east, and it's just a lot. In Austin, in downtown, in a 6 mile radius, there's 7 comedy clubs. Right. And then you got Cap City about to open up at the Domain. You got the Roma Room, which holds it down. Yeah. It's dope, man, what's happening.
Joe Rogan's supposed to open a club.
Yeah, he's supposed to open a club. I feel like that's going to elevate everything to a whole different level.
For sure.
Because I feel like that will attract more bigger comics to Austin more often. Yeah. You know, because they already, like, bigger comics come through the city. Yeah. But I feel like once Joe Rogan's Club opens up, it's going to attract that type of energy more often. Mm-hmm. And it'll probably give a lot more opportunities for the comics coming up in the Austin scene, too. Yeah.
Dude, it is a crazy time. It's like how, I was just thinking, you made me think, like, you know, every other scene, art scenes around the world or whatever, it's like a gradual thing. But like, when else can you think of, like, just like at the snap of a finger, almost like, and it wasn't that quick, but just everybody rushing to a place like at once.
Yeah, that's,
you know? Usually it's like but with COVID and with everything, all the elements that made it happen the way that it did. It's like a very unique situation.
It's extremely unique, and I'm from Texas. I've lived in Central Texas from 2011 to 2015 in San Marcos. Yeah. And then I moved to Austin from 2016 to 2017. So I'm familiar with this area, and this has never happened in Austin ever. Yeah. This is the first time anything like this has happened to the city. Yeah. And it's like known as the music capital or whatever, but I feel like comedy has overtaken the popularity of the music in the city. Right. Because there's still music shows and stuff like that goes on, but comedy's happening every night, and good comedy shows too, not just mediocre comedy shows. Like, people are producing fire comedy shows out here. Yeah. On a consistent basis. Right. Yeah, and it never like completely stopped. It's just a little, comedy, it's different. It's harder to organize a band and get shows running in that element. All you need is a microphone, some speakers, and that's really it. Hell yeah. You know, some lights if you want to feel special, but you don't even need that.
Can I offer you a beverage?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I have, I got some options.
Oh, swag.
I got, do you drink caffeine?
No, I can't handle caffeine. I have a heart attack.
Okay, these are my non-caffeinated options.
All right, sweet.
I have 2 sparkling waters, strawberry and lime, lemon lime Waterloo. I have 2 beers.
Oh, yeah.
One is...
Let me get that honey citrus blonde.
All right.
I've been thinking about blonde beers. And so that was a sign from the universe. All right. I like how you pulled out the non-alcoholic ones first. And then you're like, but then... I have... What are you going to drink? I'm not going to open mine till you choose yours.
I'm going to have some caffeine.
Sweet. Cheers to that.
Celsius. It's...
over the top. Yep, that's what I expected it to taste like. Delicious. Blonde ale with honey and orange peel.
Hell yeah.
I think I eventually want to like brew beer. That I think about stuff I want to do after I get get this comedy money, get these comedy bags. And I really want to jump in to brewing beer, but also the cannabis industry. Like grow weed. That'd be tight. Have my own strain.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. It's a crazy booming business in every state that legalizes recreationally or medically. Their economy always booms. The state's economy always booms.
Yeah. So what is the fucking thinking of not doing it?
It's at this point I don't know, because so many states are legalized. Yeah. Like even Mississippi is medically legal. Florida's medically legal. Southern states that you wouldn't expect to become legal have become legal, you know? And so at this point, I feel like with the states that aren't, hint Texas.
Yeah.
It's
what's the argument? I don't even know what the argument is.
I don't know. See, like in Houston, they decriminalized cannabis because I want to say in 2016, the city of Houston spent something like $26 million on like weed, like fines or whatever and stuff.
Yeah,
they spent a lot of money, and so the governor of Houston, she was like, "No, we're not doing that anymore. This is ridiculous." Yeah. And so there's a certain city, like it's decriminalized out here in Austin too.
Oh, okay.
So there's cities that are like, "No, we're good," but it comes down to, I guess, the bigger people in Texas government stuff that like, but everybody's economy does so good after that's the thing I don't get. It literally helps out. Like when Illinois legalized recreational cannabis, they sold out, the entire state sold out of weed in under like 36 hours. Something crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like the circles I run in, but I always just feel like I don't come across people who are anti making weed legal. Like I can't imagine like I guess it's conservative.
Even older people now.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's what?
Yeah. Maybe it's this. I think the same thing about like abortion too. Like I mean, and not to get crazy or political on here, but I just don't come across people who are, and maybe people keep it to themselves. I don't know.
I feel like that's less in cities though. Well, I mean, more so in cities you meet people that are okay with things like abortion and stuff. But I feel like with things like abortion, you go to like these really rural, like really country towns in Texas.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, because it's just like they don't get out of their little small.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize also, like Texas is huge.
Yeah.
And we have the big cities like Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. I guess you can consider El Paso a big city in Texas, but it's not really that
There's
big.
a shit ton in between.
Yeah, and everything in between is these small, like it takes, if you were to drive to Denver, Colorado from Austin, it would take you 9 hours to get out of Texas. Damn. And it's only a 13-hour drive, 11-hour drive.
Yeah, that's wild. It
takes you 9 hours to get out of Texas. The state is crazy huge.
Yeah.
And so majority of Texas is these small rural towns. Yeah. And that's why I feel like, not to get political, but that's why Texas is usually red, because it's a small rural town. Because you look at like the voting maps of stuff, it's always the bigger cities end up being like the blue.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of Texas is red. Yeah. But if you look at the counties in Dallas, Travis County out here in Austin, Harris and Houston, it's always blue. But everything around is red. And that's the majority of Texas, so it's...
Yeah.
But even redneck smoke weed, though. That's...
Yeah.
Like, I know so many old conservative, like, white people that smoke weed.
Right.
It's... that I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because it's not... We've already, like, done the science to come to the conclusion that, oh, it's not crack.
Right.
This is not meth. This is not heroin.
Yeah. It's not even alcohol.
It's not alcohol.
In terms of danger.
Yeah.
You know? Like, alcohol is much more damaging to society.
Way more damaging.
Weed.
I don't feel like anybody has ever, like, smoked a blunt and decided to beat his wife and kids.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody's probably drank a 40 and decided to beat his wife and kids, but I don't feel like anybody's ever, like, smoked a blunt and be like, yeah, now I'm angry. Now I'm about to punch my 7-year-old in the forehead.
They might have thought about it, but they're like, they're too far.
Yeah, no.
They're in the other room right now. I'm pretty comfy.
I don't feel like dealing with you right now. You know what? I love you.
Yeah. Shit. Man, I just, I never really did the weed or did the pot.
Did the weed?
Or, yeah.
I can tell. I never really did the weed.
Yeah, I never.
That's hilarious. That makes it sound like a monster. Like this, it makes it sound like one singular monster.
Pot is my favorite way to. Nobody says pot anymore.
Pot's weird. Pot's weird. Like certain when people say pot, I just like.
Yeah.
That's strange to me. That's a strange reference.
Or dope.
Dope. Yeah, dope sounds like smack, like crack or something. Dope sounds.
It sounds
laced with PCP or something.
Well, yeah, because doping is like that.
Dope fiends.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's associated with other drugs.
I like using the word cannabis. It sounds very clean and professional. It sounds like
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Because sometimes if you use like I'm smoking weed, people are like
Right.
like I'm partaking in cannabis consumption.
Yeah, so I never really experimented with pot, but now I've been smoking dope. And no, I haven't been smoking dope, but I had a couple edibles a couple times now.
Yeah. I don't like edibles. They don't hit me. It's a waste of money for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's wild.
I've heard of that before. I think
I have a really high metabolism. I don't know. You seem to have a high metabolism too. Did they like?
Sometimes they hit and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, it's generally no for me. I remember the first time I went to Denver. It was 2014.
Yeah.
24. No. It was 2016. 2016, and my homie and I, we get to Denver. We're like, we're hitting the dispensaries, getting mad edibles. Because I was like, these are dispensary edibles. I know these shit's about to slap.
Yeah.
And I went in. I ate probably like 300 milligrams, 350 milligrams. And like, I was just like,
350 milligrams?
Yeah, of THC. And I was just like, oh, man, that was kind of a waste.
Oh, yeah.
Because they say the recommended dosage is 10 milligrams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
get mixed up between THC and CBD.
Yeah, so CBD is what's legal in all 50 states, and
right.
I don't have time for CBD.
Yeah.
I'm here for THC. THC is what gives you the psychoactive experience. But like some people, I have a really high tolerance for.
That's a lot.
Cannabis, yeah.
Because the first time I had pot, the first time I
did, you have a Rolodex of what to call it rolling through your head.
The first time I did the weed,
I
had 20 milligrams edibles, and it shot me to the moon. I was like,
really? Yeah. See, it
it fucked me up.
I remember I had a show, and I was helping my friend record some stuff. And he gave me 6 25 milligram gummy bears. And I was just like, doop, doop, doop.
Damn,
didn't feel anything.
Damn.
I was like, this performance is about to be tight. It was a regular performance. I'd rather just smoke a joint. I'm a classic man.
Yeah,
I'd rather just have like a joint.
Yeah.
It's easier. It gets to the point. And it's smooth. It's casual. It's social, you know?
Yeah.
Edibles you just eat. And then you're like, well, I'm going to wait till these shits hit me. If they do. You know?
Yeah, it's weird.
And that's I don't know, that's the new age stuff, like the new age smoking cannabis consumption. I'd rather just smoke a joint. I try not to smoke blunts too much because I try to stay away from tobacco.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a joint, or I have a bubbler. Call it watermelon sugar. Shout out to Harry Styles. He's a real fucking OG, bro. I fuck with Harry Styles. You fuck with Harry Styles?
Nah, dude.
Did you listen to his album?
I heard Watermelon Sugar, but that's about it.
Watermelon Sugar's hard. Song. Adore You's hard. Golden's hard. Those are really like the only 3 songs I really rocked with, but them shits were hard enough to be like, yo, I fucks with Harry Styles.
Yeah. I'm sure it's good. I think I just hate on him a little bit because it's just like he's just got it all, you know?
He does. But he's fire with it, though. That's the thing. He's smooth. Like, I feel like all those One Direction dudes have it all, but Harry Styles, he's like...
Well, yeah, he's taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
But he... yeah, I don't know. I also look at his style and the way he's, like, is... And maybe this is me being kind of a dick, but he seems like a... what's his name? Mick Jagger ripoff to me. Like he's just like a Mick Jagger ripoff mixed with like David Bowie kind of, and he's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't always get the most authentic vibes from him.
I get that. I get that.
It's cool that he's expresses his feminine energy and stuff, but. Yeah. And I might even cut this shit out because I feel bad just saying it. But there's part of me that looks at it and I'm just like, is he just doing this because everybody, like, he gets so much praise every time he dresses up as, who did he just dress up as? Dorothy from...
I didn't even know that.
Or like he'll like wear a dress or something like that. And I just... In the past it was edgy, but in his circle it's just so supportive.
Like a lot of stuff seems sort of... forced now, and which is like, no, if you want to do your thing,
right,
or whatever, but some stuff doesn't always seem like the most authentic. Like, I don't feel like you're actually doing this because you want to do this. I feel like you're doing it because you have this platform, and maybe it is your decision making, maybe it isn't, but you know, trying to make a point, but I don't know.
I have no basis for this either.
Yeah.
It could all be completely authentic. But there's just part of me that's like, I don't know, piss some people off if you're a rock star a little bit. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that does piss some people off.
But then again, look at Prince, right? Because Prince was wearing high heels and thongs and had his ass out on SNL, all types of like wild shit. But he had like mad women. Like Prince was, the bee is attracted to the honey beer, bro. That's crazy. There's a bee out here attracted to this honey beer.
Fuck, don't fucking sting me, you dick.
But Prince, you could tell, like, oh, this is, like, just authentic for you. I feel
does
like,
he want this?
I don't know what he
wants. He's coming for me, dog. He's at
you now. I think he's gone.
Oh, shit.
That was wild. He came and tried to get a sip of this honey beer.
Dude,
he was like, yo, my cousins helped make that beer, bro. You need to pay it forward.
Oh, he's still there. He's on my tail, dude. If I get stung on camera, I'm gonna cry like no tomorrow.
He's gonna die.
He's here, dude. What do I do? Do I smash him? No.
Oh, that's not a bee. That's a wasp.
Yeah, this is gonna fuck me up, dude. I got.
Yeah, wasps they can fuck you up, man. All right.
Wasps can get these hands.
Catch this fade real quick. You can catch this aura real quick, fam. All right.
But see, what I'm saying is like Prince. When he did it, it was edgy. There wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, he's fucking. But now I just feel like Harry Styles he's just doing what's been done.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just who he is.
Who would you consider now as somebody that's edgy? Somebody that's doing something that's edgy?
I don't know. You know what? I could be talking out of my ass because it depends what circles you look at.
Well,
like Lil Nas X, he gets...
That's edgy.
He's edgy.
He's edgy.
Yeah.
That's legitimate edge. Like I've never considered Harry Styles edgy. I've considered more of like the like just the British, I don't know, the British lover boy pop rock star to a degree. I consider Young Thug edgy. I don't even listen to Young Thug's music, but I consider him edgy.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, yeah. So yeah, like Young Thug.
Lil Nas X is definitely probably the edgiest.
Right
now, though.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
he gave Satan a lap dance, which is hilarious, bro. That shit is fire.
Yeah.
Shit is so dope because, not to get on a religion tip, but shit, I guess we are.
Go off.
But Satan only exists in Christianity. Satan doesn't even exist in Satanism. Satanists don't believe
Are you a Satanist?
in Satan. I'm not a Satanist, but I've read the Satanic Bible in parts, or whatever. But yeah, the only people that believe in Satan is Christians, which is funny because they're like, "Oh, this is blasphemy," but to who? You know, because there's only one religion that believes in this red-horned person named Satan, named the devil. Mm-hmm. And so for him, and that's like the biggest religion in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, it's top 3 with, I think it's Christianity, and then I think Buddhism, and then Taoism, I think, are the 3 largest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Islam's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, I think Islam's up there. But yeah, you gave a lap dance to Satan, and you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what you were doing. And he knew that it was going to upset just the world. Just like everything else that he's been doing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, all of his moves have been calculated ways to piss off, like, middle America.
Yeah.
That's edginess.
It is. And especially, you know, being gay within rap is a very new thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I mean, who's been a gay rapper before him?
Kevin Abstract. Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator,
nobody really
queer.
knows.
Yeah, but he's got songs about whatever. I mean,
Frank Ocean, but he's more R&B, but he like would rap on tracks and stuff.
But even like Frank Ocean coming out was like a big thing.
That was a huge thing. That was around Channel Orange.
Yeah.
I was on Tumblr when I found it, because he released it on Tumblr.
Right.
He released a post on Tumblr.
And all these things, I mean, maybe, you know, they're not even people coming out as gay or whatever. Like Frank Ocean just shared a story about someone he loved that was a guy. But
and that's another weird thing too, because culture, like society, American society seems so obsessed with everybody's life, who's fucking who, who's marrying who. It's so weird to me that people are excited about Travis Barker and one of these Kardashian chicks like getting married or something. It's so weird to me that people get excited about these things, because I feel like relationships are like personal, you know, and then because being famous and sharing like these famous people are getting married together. Oh, we're so happy for them. It's strange to me, because I could understand family and friends being happy, but you're just somebody on Twitter that saw this retweet from TMZ or whatever.
Well, that's what makes me go back to what we were talking about earlier, when it's like, in some ways, like, we're too like the ability to be connected to everything. It's like there's some things that we're better off not being connected to. Yeah. Like
callbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's true. That's true.
In some
but
sense,
everybody wants people. It seems like people want people to be connected to them.
Yeah.
The amount of people that I'm associated with or linked with through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook or whatever that I don't actually know, but I know so much about them is ridiculous. And I actually found myself almost watching one chick in particular, one lady in particular. I caught myself almost reading her post as if I was like watching a Netflix series or something. I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen on the next episode?
It's like a reality show.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like I should not know that this chick's ex-boyfriend burned a cigarette on her hand. I shouldn't know this about her. I've never really had a conversation, like a personable conversation with this person, but yet I know that her ex-boyfriend burned a cigarette on her hand because she just wrote about it and put it on.
Right.
You know, and I just know that her new baby daddy left out on her and her son.
Yeah.
I don't know this person. I don't know you, Camille, but I know too much about you. I feel like people like want people in. That's I don't want people in on my like personal like life.
Well, this is super meta because we're recording a podcast right now, and I'm like, should anybody know about this right now? Like, what the fuck
I feel
are we
like
doing?
that's different because it's like, oh, we're having an open forum conversation. You know, we've opened the table up for a natural conversation versus me writing this, 6-paragraph caption on my Instagram post about how like my so and so is divorcing so and so, and then my cousin got shot or whatever, and this is what I'm going through in my life, and it's like such a hard time. And another thing, bro, I'm about to go in. Another thing, baby. This gets on my nerves, because life gets hard, right? Like life gets hard for people.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost an inevitable thing unless you're just fed a complete like silver spoon, but still your life will get hard in a different way.
Yeah,
but
even there. It's like there. Delayed hardness.
Yeah, it's a different type of hardness, but life gets hard. And the thing that bothers me that I see a lot is people will do a GoFundMe to get their bills paid or something. And I can understand a GoFundMe if you're, you know, wanting to do a passion project and you need this amount of money to get this stuff to get this like made, or, you know, somebody in your family just died and you need, you know, money to help cover funeral costs and stuff like that. Stuff like that, I completely understand. Start a GoFundMe, get your money. But if you just need help on your bills, like, look, why are we doing a GoFund? Like, we all like are trying to pay our bills and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just like a responsibility that we decided to take on as soon as we signed a lease. To some place.
Right.
We knew, we got bills to pay.
Right.
So when people do on social media GoFundMes because to get their electric bill paid, stuff like that bothers. I don't know. It just, there's a fish over there. It bothers me, man.
Yeah.
It's
they hop out sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if I've even seen that. Maybe I have. But what's the?
I've seen it.
What's the description? What do people? How do they defend it?
It's literally always like, oh, this month has been hard on me.
Yeah.
I need extra money. I've seen people start GoFundMes because, I can't afford to feed my cat. I need like money to buy cat food. I need money to pay for my electricity. And then I need money. I've seen people do GoFundMes because they didn't have enough money to Uber around the city because they don't have a car. And stuff like that is just so like,
I
don't know, like, figure it. Like I didn't have like I don't have like a fallback, and I don't have anybody like really helping me out like that. I've been like on my own legit for like, how old am I? I'm 28.
Yeah.
Probably like 7 years. You know, like I've been self-sufficient completely like for like 7 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it got hard. I used to live in my car in LA and stuff. I was struggling, but I figured it out, you know? And so I don't feel like, and I never was, nobody knew I lived in a car either. I never was like, oh, I live in a car, oh, woe is me, I need some help. It was just, I got to figure this out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's part of the struggle, especially if you want to be an artist or something like that. I mean, that's like the sacrifice you make, you know? Like, I mean, everyone would be an artist if you could just get money handed to you and we're just free to create art. Like, part of the hard part about it is...
That's even the thing about art, though, is there's only a handful of artists that were rich before becoming, like, successful in their art.
Yeah.
Successful in their music, successful in their comedy. There's only a handful of them. Adam Levine, head ass.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, he's a rich boy that just was like, oh, okay, I'm rich.
Wasn't his dad something, or his parents were something?
Yeah, his dad did some big shit, but...
He's from, like, Brentwood or something.
Yeah. He's from nice California. But, I feel like that's what makes art connect with people, is the pain within the shit, is the struggle within the stuff.
Yeah.
Because how much art and how much music and how many movies and TV shows and even comedians and specials and stuff are really majority all around happy and positive. Even the happiest of people, like if you look at a comedian like Ron Funches, he always talks about being a joy warrior and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you watch his special Giggle Fit, like there's some things that, this is actually pretty sad. There's, this is pain. You struggled. Like you struggled with multiple things, you know? But we're laughing at it. It's bringing us joy. You're a joy warrior because you've had so much pain. You've had so much struggle and stuff, you know?
Dude, a lot of the nicest people and animals went through some tough shit.
Yeah, bro.
You know? Like the sweetest dogs sometimes.
We used to have rescue animals. We used to just only have rescue dogs and stuff. We never bought like dogs brand new. We always had rescue dogs that we had a dog named Sadie. She was a Borzoi. She was fast as fuck. This bitch was fast, bro. I remember they were trying to chase. There was twins. It was Sadie and Prince. And Prince was stupid. Prince got shot. Prince.
Shit.
Yeah, it was some country shit. It's some country shit. Prince got shot though, because he was a very aggressive dog. But they were chasing this dog, and they were going 25 miles per hour in a truck, and this dog was still going faster. Like, Borzois are crazy fast. But we had a dog named Sadie, and she was an abused dog. And if my dad would ever talk above a certain octave, like, she would pee on herself.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but eventually she finally was able to become a very loving dog.
Yeah.
Because of the pain, bro. You're right, animals, or they just become super aggressive.
Yeah.
And you probably get put down.
Yeah.
Because of their aggression.
Right.
I'm not saying they're supposed to. I'm not supporting putting down dogs. I'm not saying that. But I had to look at the camera, so they knew I was sincere.
That's people too. It's interesting how people respond differently to different forms of treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, because people that haven't really, like, had to struggle, really, they can be dicks.
Yeah.
They can be assholes.
Right.
I Valley Park at a very fancy hotel. I'm not going to say the name, but I Valley Park at a very fancy hotel. And there's like some billionaires that live at this residence or whatever. And there's multimillionaires that are always coming through. They're always famous people always sliding through or whatever. And they're assholes.
Yeah.
But they tip well. But they're dicks. But they pay well. So it's, I don't know, it's in that aspect it's like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. But
yeah, it's always a bummer when like you want to think that super successful people are good people, and that shitty people don't achieve what they want to, but it's not always the case. It's frustrating sometimes when you're like, this guy sucks, but he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not fair.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I want to be really good at what I do, but I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on people's toes. I don't want to try to one-up anybody. I don't want a crabs in a bucket mentality anybody. Like, I want to be really good, but then also be very humble and very... Because I was raised in the boonies. I was raised on a ranch in Sherman, Texas. Like, I have a bunch of cousins and shit that were addicted to meth, and majority of the people in Sherman, Texas are probably on meth. And so I come from very humble beginnings. So I feel like, okay, if I get to a level where I'm like just huge or whatever, I don't want to be a dick to people, start being an asshole to people, because then it just makes you look fucking terrible.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, what's the end goal of any of this? What's the reason to do anything?
Yeah.
Is it to get rich? Is it to get happy? Is it to look cool? Is it to look successful? Is it to be remembered as what's the goal of anything?
I feel like for me for comedy, as long as I can get my bills paid, eat whatever I want, and smoke as much weed as I want, everything else after that is an incentive.
Right.
Like, my bills are paid, I can eat really good food and smoke really good weed, and I'm doing all this just from telling jokes on stage every night. Everything else is an incentive, you know? And that's not to say, like, I don't want to see how far I can take this ship and see, you know, how far out there I can blast off.
Right.
Because why not? You know, eventually I'm gonna die, so I might as well do some really unique, rare, dope shit while I'm here.
Yeah.
And so I want to see how far I can take it, and I'm definitely going to push the limits of it. But as long as, like, I don't have to worry about bills or food or weed, like, everything else is, I'm cool with everything else.
I know. Isn't that the dream?
Yeah.
Just to be like, man, it sucks feeling like it's just a hobby, or people from the outside view it as a hobby. Like, I want to be, you know, I don't know. I
stopped allowing people to, like, talk to me like that, though. Because I've noticed, I mean, you know this, when you tell somebody who doesn't do comedy or whatever, who is not a comedian, oh, I'm a comedian, they always say, oh, you're a comedian, tell me a joke.
Yeah.
I started charging people. I told people, if you want me to tell you a joke, I'll charge you $10 a joke.
Yeah.
Some dude actually Venmo'd me.
Really?
I told him a joke. I said, Venmo me and I will tell you a joke.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because you wouldn't, if somebody told you, oh, I'm a chef, you wouldn't be like, cook me a steak right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody told you, I'm a brain surgeon, perform brain surgery right now.
Yeah, that's
you
hilarious.
wouldn't do that
Yeah.
at all. You would look like a fucking dick if you did that. And you sound like a dick when you do it to comedians. Oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke right now. This is a job, okay? This is, this is a full-time job for me. Like, I feel like I have 2 jobs. I work in the morning from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. 5 days a week. And then 7 days a week, 5 p.m. to fucking 1 a.m. I'm out doing comedy things.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how I treat it. So I don't allow people to shit on my, because I'm not shitting on your job.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't allow people to do that shit to me at all. If you want to hear a joke, you have to pay me.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Right now doing comedy, working your day job and like grinding it out?
It honestly feels great because like my day job doesn't stress me. I just valet park rich people's cars. Like, I drove like 2 Bentleys yesterday. The shit was player. And I made like $215 just from parking cars, just in tips and stuff. It's cool. I'm off at 3 p.m. But I told my job straight up, like, yo, in the interview, I'm a comedian. I can't work evenings ever. And they're like, okay. And they tried to do that thing where they were slick, like, oh, are you sure you can't work? Like, no, I can't. 3 p.m., y'all don't know me. I'm not responsible for anything in this vicinity anymore. After 3 p.m. every day, I'm done. Do not contact me. I'm not working extra. I'm not working any less. 40 hours, boom, 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 I'm good. And then I usually take a nap after I get off, and then I'm out performing comedy, networking, hanging with comedians and shit until fucking 1 a.m. And it's a routine. It's become routine now. Now it just feels like, oh, this is just my cycle of existence. And it works, man. It's a good balance for me because I'm making enough money to pay all the shit I need to pay or whatever, so I'm not stressed about money. But also I don't have something where I'm like, oh, I got to ask off tonight to do this show, or, oh, I don't know if I can do this because I got to work tonight. I don't have that stress because I'm the type, I'll leave a job. Like, I don't care. Like, this job means nothing to me. Y'all are literally just so I can pay my bills. But I won't allow a job to get in the way of what I'm really like hustling for and doing and stuff. And
that's smart.
Yeah, because with jobs and stuff, man, you're replaceable. No matter how good you are with every company that you don't own, or you don't have some type of executive like order in, really, like, you're replaceable. Yeah. And I realized that with the pandemic, because I used to tour the country emceeing dance competitions, and then the pandemic happened and all my shows got canceled. Damn. And it was like, oh shit, none of this shit is promised at all. And so then that just switched my mindset up as, oh, I'm replaceable, and 2, this having a job isn't a safety net, because just like that, it can be taken away from you and there's nothing you can do about it, So I'd rather put like the energy forth towards my own thing so I can work for myself off of doing something that like I love and I just so happen to be good at. Yeah. Too, Like, it's dope, man. This month I made my rent money off of comedy. Damn. It's fucking dope. First time this happened. I hope it happens in November, but October it fucking happened. And that's, I'm like, really cool. Oh shit, okay, congrats doing something. Thank you, man. It was crazy. I was like, whoa, I made my rent money off of jokes. Yeah. You said you happened to be good at it. Were you good when you first started? Fuck no. Oh, okay. It's terrible. Yeah. I've always been funny. I just recently got good at stand-up though. Damn. Like I was a funny kid. Like, I can legitimately say, like, I was a funny kid. And like, I've always been the person who's making people laugh and shit. Because I can't do small talk with people. I don't. Yeah. Like, I don't watch sports. Like, I can't small talk about sports. I can't small talk about who married who. Like, I my brain does not care about any of that type of shit at all. You don't like to talk shit? I love talking shit. I love talking shit. That's what I grew up on. That's another reason why I feel like I'm good at comedy is because like talking shit is my family's love language. Yeah. And that's just what we did growing up or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I forgot the initial question.
Oh, just were you good at first?
Oh, no, fuck no. Not when I first started. I started in L.A. and I was terrible. I got beat the fuck up in L.A. Got torn up by the audiences out there.
Yeah.
Because, like, the comedy scene isn't that supportive. Like, there is only a few comedians that were, like, legitimately, like, a helping hand that, you know, would give me advice and, like, kind of give me reassurance on things. But I didn't get good at stand-up until I came back to Austin. I came back out to Austin in July. Because I lived in Atlanta for a little bit. Because I started doing stand-up again in June.
Yeah.
I stopped for like a year and a half.
To do dance hosting?
No, just pandemic. Because I started taking comedy serious in May of 2019.
Yeah.
And then I was performing like every night or whatever up until October. And then I went to New York to work the Bryan Park holiday market for this independent glasses company I was working with. And so I was so busy with them, I didn't have time to perform at all in New York. And then I went to Europe for like 3 weeks, got back to the States, started performing stand-up and touring again. And then a month later, the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't perform from like February 2020 until June 2021. Then I performed twice in Atlanta. Did not like Atlanta at all. Was tired of acting stuff.
Atlanta stand-up or Atlanta in general?
Atlanta in general. And the stand-up. The stand-up scene was weird out there. It seemed to be like a lot of bitterness amongst the comedians out there, which didn't seem like a good energy to really be able to thrive in. And I saw that comedy was popping off in Austin. And I was like, oh, I have majority of my friends live in Austin already. And I fuck with the city heavy. I've always liked the city.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw that you could perform out here every night, multiple times a night. And I was like, oh shit, that's exactly what I need right now. So I jumped out here. And then when I got out here, I feel like that's when I started getting good at stand-up, because I just got beat up so bad in LA, and then kind of taking the year and a half off of not performing and just kind of writing jokes and visualizing shit. I don't know. Kind of in a way, like I was subconsciously forming my act and stuff. But now, like being in Austin, since getting here in July, I've probably performed at least like 250 times. Because I'm out every night.
Yeah.
Generally at least like 3 times a night.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's made me such a way stronger performer, way more confident performer too.
Yeah.
Because it used to be, I still get nerves to a degree, but not how I used to. And now it's like, oh, this just feels like second nature to me. Like being on stage and performing just feels like walking and talking at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you make me want to perform more, and I'm always like, fuck, I don't perform enough. But I mostly find myself getting nervous now, more like I just get insecure about not writing enough and like doing the same jokes in front of
me too. That's
like
why
at shitty mics.
That's because my writing process, like I don't sit down and write shit.
Yeah.
I'll be just taking a shower, or I'll be walking, or I'll be driving, and an idea will come to me, and I'll put it in my notes, my Google Keep notes on my phone, and I'll write on stage. I write majority of my jokes while I'm on stage. I'll just have like a premise or an idea of something, and then I'll take it to an open mic and always like audio or video record it and just see if I can come up with something on stage. I don't allow myself to really go by any type of structure. I don't know how to write a joke.
Yeah.
I feel like I have one joke. I probably have 25 minutes to 30 minutes of material. I feel like I have one actual joke within.
Dude, I feel like that
all
too.
that, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid to fail on stage either.
Yeah, maybe I'm too afraid to fail.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like there's always going to be a stage for you to perform on. And all these stages, like, none of these people matter. They matter, but they don't at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and I look at everything as we all are going to take a shit and we're all going to die.
Right.
You know, we all shit and we all die.
Yeah.
So that kind of blocks off this kind of like weird veil that we can have up of like, oh, these people are looking, because they're judging you the entire time. That's all comedy is we get on stage to be judged.
Right.
And that can kind of be a lot and kind of fuck with your head and stuff.
Well, and a lot of times it's not even real judgment. You place judgment on yourself in somebody else's eyes. You're like, oh, that person looking at me this way, they fucking hate me, or they think I'm...
Yeah.
But
that's because comedy's a weird art, too. Yeah. You just get on stage and you feel the dead space.
Yeah.
You know? And that can be a weird thing for people to experience, because supposedly the average person only goes to 5 stand-up comedy shows in their lifetime.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know? And so it's a weird thing for a lot of people. Like, I feel like comedy clubs are intimidating for the average human, because there's a lot of people that will never step foot in a comedy club, an actual comedy club. Yeah. It's a weird kind of like, oh, dirty, that's underground, you know, that's very risque type energy. Yeah.
And normal people laugh at different shit than comedians.
Way different shit.
But it's just a different perspective.
When you have a crowd that just wants to laugh, though, it doesn't matter what the fuck you say.
Yeah.
And it just feels good. Like, I've been working on crowd work a lot these past like 3 weeks, and working on bringing the crowd in and making them feel like they're on stage with me.
Yeah.
And that shit has been creating like some of the most fun I've had on stage, because I used to try to ignore the audience.
Yeah.
Almost. Where like I wasn't, like I would handle a heckler, but if people would like do something, I would just kind of like look past it.
Yeah. And
I started calling like little shit out, and it's just been it's been working so well, because now people are like, oh, I'm involved with the joke now. Like now I'm a part of the show or whatever. And
it feels real. And it like if you're just doing your routine straightforward, it can feel rehearsed maybe. But
very robotic.
If you just do one little something, then it's like, oh, maybe this all was just off the top of the dome.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like people love this like spontaneity and love feeling like, oh, you're just talking to us. You're not even performing right now. You're just talking to us like you're our friend. That's how I try to view every audience is, oh, these are just my best friends sitting here, and I'm just talking shit. Like this is, I'm just going in on whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and then working on, oh, they said this, I'm about to jump on that real quick for a second, and maybe it can turn into a 30-second, 40-second bit, or maybe it's just a quick 3-second like boom, and then back on track with the written shit.
I wanted to talk about your YouTube show a little.
Oh, the Lonely Black Dude?
Oh,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually working, part 2 is written. We shot like a teaser.
Yeah.
It's just scheduling with people gets to be complicated, but part 1, it's like autobiographical. Is mostly about when I lived in San Marcos when I was in college. And it started off as I just wrote something.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends, this dude named BJ, aka Shelly Nix, he's fucking dope. I was like, yo, man, I wrote this script. I don't know, we can shoot it and see what happens. And we shot it, and it ended up being way better than we thought. And so then I was like, damn, that was my first time writing something and shooting it and producing it or whatever, and seeing it go from paper to screen. And I thought that shit was cool as fuck.
It is cool as fuck.
Yeah. And so then I wrote 6 more episodes, and we just shot it in a day. I was living in LA. We shot the teaser thing called Road to Nowhere. And then I moved to LA like literally 2 weeks after we did it. And then a year later I came back to Texas for like a week, 2 weeks. And we just shot it in one day. Everybody was free on this one day, and we started at like 9 a.m.
Oh, the first season was all in one day?
All in one day.
Damn.
We started at like 9 a.m. and we finally ended probably around 1:30 a.m.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, we just did it, and it ended up actually being way better than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I was living in LA at the time, and so I started writing like part 2 and started writing like different scripts or whatever. But shooting in LA, you have to have permits for stuff, and it's so hard to shoot in areas in LA because everybody wants a fucking permit. But in Texas, you don't need a permit. You can just guerrilla warfare stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, you in the convenience store and
we literally,
like that, you just
and this is what we're gonna do when we need to use a public place for the next stuff we shoot. We literally just told them we're college kids.
Oh yeah.
And we were shooting for our final thesis project.
Yeah.
We're shooting a short film for our final thesis project. Boom, boom. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, we used a convenience store. We used a restaurant. We used a thrift store. Yeah, a clothing store. But part 2, it was fun because I feel like I broke a lot of rules that you're not supposed to do in like film stuff. Like I broke the fourth wall. The main character Lex, he doesn't talk to anybody really, except for the girl at the end. Like people talk to him, but he doesn't communicate with anybody the entire thing. Like I got inspired by Atlanta.
Yeah.
A lot, and how it's little small things that Donald Glover will do in Atlanta that are just very obscure and weird, and it either goes with it or it doesn't go with the story at all, but it's just there and it works somehow.
Yeah.
And I like stuff like that because we've seen everything already. You know, we've seen all types of everything already multiple times, and so I was like, okay, how can I make it weird? How can I make it a little different? How can I make it kind of feel almost like a fever dream to a degree?
Yeah. And
kind of make it seem like, is any of this happening or at all, to a degree? And that's why I'm excited about part 2, because I feel like my writing got better. And since we already did part 1, we kind of already like know how to make stuff. We've made different shorts that weren't Lonely Black Dude since like releasing the first part. But I'm super excited about the second part because it gets more strange. It introduces like some different characters and kind of a different level to this character Lex, because he's very in his head. He's very to himself. He's lonely. He's just a lonely black dude. He's very like this. He feels misunderstood by the world, and it's just exactly how I felt in college. I just feel misunderstood. I'm awkward. Like, this chick seems to like me, but I don't really know. Yeah. Like, I have my friends, but I even still feel lonely or like around my friends and stuff. Like this weird kind of dealing with loneliness, and how, because people look at loneliness as like this bad thing. Like, oh, being lonely is so bad, but being lonely is so fucking powerful, dog. Because if you can harness like your own lonely energy and stuff, you can, and be good with it, you can fucking do anything. You can.
Oh, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
Dude, and I always think about it's so easy to not be alone nowadays, especially with technology and things like that. Like, people, I feel like the further back you go through time, people were much more comfortable being alone. Yeah. You go through a walk in the woods, or you go...
Well, not even that. I feel like it's the opposite, actually, because if you think about, like, back in the day before we had, like, good shelter and stuff, you couldn't be alone because something's out there to kill you. Mm-hmm. You know, you have, like, a bear or some shit that may kill you. So you kind of need, like, that community. And now, like... I feel like we're more connected in ways that we couldn't even, like, realize 10, 15 years ago. But at the same time, it's way more disconnect, I feel like. Yeah. Because there's so... Like, it's so many people, like, on Instagram that are so fucking sad but seem so happy. Yeah. And it seems like they have... You know, they'll have 30,000 followers but have no friends. Yeah. You know? And won't have anybody to talk to about like their personal shit that's going on in their life. Right.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Kind of is like, it's like a false sense of having people. Yeah. You feel like if you look, like you're looking at the screen and you partly feel like you're connecting, but it's fake connection, so it doesn't really fulfill you.
But it's that dopamine.
Yeah, it's the dopamine.
Yeah, it's like 250 people liked my photograph, 30 people commented or whatever. Oh, your brain is like, oh shit, this is making us feel good. But then you're like, oh, this means no, this is all surface level.
Yeah.
Like this means absolutely fucking nothing.
Right. Well, and loneliness to me also, like, you know, having the chance to be meditative and figure out your problems, or really like think about your life and sit with your thoughts, I think is really important. And so many people just constantly have distractions to keep them from acknowledging that.
That's what I feel like the pandemic did for me. It made me sit the fuck down and unpack a lot. Like, it made me unpack so much that I feel like wouldn't have happened if the pandemic didn't happen.
Right.
Because I'm the type of person where I would just work and work and work and work to not think about all the bullshit in my life or whatever. So just go hard. Yeah. And then once I wasn't able to even leave my apartment because it was pretty much illegal to be outside in Los Angeles County for a time being, I had no choice but to sit with myself and sit with my thoughts and unpack shit. And then I also realized, yo, look at that bird. Yeah.
It's a dinosaur.
Yeah. He said, look at me, look at you.
What is he doing with his neck?
I don't know.
He's got like wings on his neck.
That's wild.
Birds scare me.
Yeah. That looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's like some Jurassic Park shit.
Yeah.
But no, like sitting with like my thoughts. And then I totaled my car too, so I couldn't even drive anywhere. Just sitting with thoughts, and I'm like, well, damn, I don't have anything to do. My brain's just gonna go back to when I was 9 years old. Yeah. And think about, you know, this childhood trauma that I've never actually fucking dealt with. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, you unpack one thing and then you realize, oh, I got way more shit packed from years and years and years and years of stuff I just kind of have tried to, you know, put in the back of my brain as if it never was there. Then I had no choice but to look at it and acknowledge it, which, you know, during the time being, it fucking sucked and was painful. But now it's like, oh, I'm in a way better mental capacity. I never would have gotten to there had, like, this whole COVID shit not happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably...
This wouldn't be happening in Austin. The comedy shit that's happening in Austin wouldn't happen.
I know, isn't it crazy?
If COVID never happened.
Thinking about that the other day, like, where would I be, or what would my life be like?
I'd probably still be in California. Yeah. Somehow, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be in California or Nevada.
Yeah.
But,
because I didn't expect to be back in Texas at all. Like, that shit caught me up, like, threw me way off guard. Bro, I thought that was a whole fucking dinosaur fish, bro. Holy shit. I was like, yo, what is, like, that thing breathing heavy? Bro, see, I can't do that. Like, white people are brave, bro.
Yeah. No, this guy's out here every day.
That's wild.
Every time I come. The first time it scared the shit out of me, but now I expect him.
That
I should have warned you.
That dude's like a legit merman. Yeah. How deep is this water?
I don't know. Bro, I don't think it's that deep. But no. I bet you don't want to touch the bottom. It's deep enough to die,
bro. Yeah, no. I mean, I almost drowned in the Guadalupe River in San Marcos.
Really?
Yeah, I was with this chick. This was 2015. And we were swimming over, like, in the river. And we saw this white couple swim across with the selfie stick sticking out the water, and they made it look so easy and so much fun. And I was like, I can fucking do that. And I got across cool. Like, I got across cool, but I knew, like, once I got across, like, yo, I'm not going to be able to make it across. And there wasn't any other way across besides, like, swimming across and shit. And I didn't have, like, any floaty shit or anything.
Was it flowing? Or was it just a long way?
It wasn't that long. It was probably, like this? A little bit shorter than this. A little bit, but I don't know how to fucking swim like that. Yeah. And the chick I was with, she didn't know how to swim either, but she could float on her back and do this little joint right here, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck, I got to get back across. And I was doing good until I got to the middle. I felt the temperature of the water change. It got really cold.
Yeah.
And the current picked up. And I was like, oh, fuck, there's probably not a bottom underneath me, right? Wrong thought to have.
Yeah.
Like, that was the complete worst thought to have at that moment, because my head went under and I popped back up, and my head went under and I popped back up, and my head went under and I popped back up, and I was like, shit, I think I'm like drowning. And I was able to get close enough where my toes were on like the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
I was able to get my toes dug into the dirt, and my friend Deanna, she grabbed me by the arm and like pulled me. I get pulled to the shore. I start just throwing up water.
Damn.
Water and Subway. I have PTSD because of that shit. I can't eat Subway. The smell of Subway freaks me out now.
Wow.
Because of that shit. I'm throwing up nothing but water and Subway.
Yeah.
Just flowing. Right? I like finally stopped throwing up after probably like 15 minutes. And then I can't like walk by myself. So I have to I'm on my friend's shoulder, and she helps me get to my truck.
Because your body hurts, or your
my body
head
hurts.
or what?
I freaked out. Like my body, like it might have been a state of shock or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just remember I wasn't able to walk by myself, and I was like freaking out and hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And she like helped carry me to my truck. I opened up the back, and I just had to lay in the back of my truck I wasn't able to drive for 2 hours. This is a stick shift. She didn't know how to drive standard. And I had to lay in the back of my truck for like 2.5 hours to finally like come back to. Yeah, that shit was scary.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't die.
Fuck yeah. Bro, that would have been trash. It would have been such a weak way to die.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a cool way to die. Like, oh, you died in the Guadalupe River in San Marcos, bro.
Yeah, and people like go out and they're like, he died in this, or like,
yeah.
You would expect it to be like Niagara Falls
you know
or
what I'm
something,
saying?
like
some
it's like
sharks or some shit. Like no, it's some piranhas. Like it's nothing, bro.
It's more of a pond than a.
Yeah, it would have been a terrible way to die. I've had like a lot of weirdly close death experiences.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
What else you got?
The most recent one,
9 lives, drowning. That's one. What else you got?
The most recent one, I've actually almost drowned probably like 2 or 3 times.
Oh shit.
Just never learned. After the last time though, I was like, I'm not doing this water shit anymore. If that shit goes above my waist, I'm not getting in it.
You gotta just start rocking this.
Yeah, I gotta start rocking this all the time.
All the time.
Rock this bitch everywhere I go.
Just put it under your shirts and it's just like
just look mad swollen shit.
Yeah.
You okay? You look like you got a stiff neck. I'm good, fam. Just in case it starts flooding. Y'all gonna be sorry. Y'all gonna be
even just get the water wings, you know, looking a little swole.
Look all swollen and shit. I'm just not a strong swimmer. It's like, bro, I don't ever really see fish like get out of water, start walking on land.
Yeah.
I won't bother them.
Man, you should learn how to swim. Yeah. I'd recommend it. I'll teach you.
I'd be getting scared in water, bro.
Yeah. Well, you gotta learn in like you don't want to learn in this. You want to learn in like a pool that's shallow where you can stand up, and then you just practice floating.
Yeah. I can doggy paddle it, but if it gets too deep, that's when my brain is like, nah, fam. Like, nah.
Yeah, I almost don't even know if
I can stand up, I'm good, and I'll like around. But once that shit gets too deep, I can't stand up. Like, I don't know how to tread water.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, treading water is so easy. I've never been able to tread water.
Yeah.
Never been able to tread water.
I would imagine the older you get, it's probably hard to break that feeling.
Dude is really out here swimming, bro. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
He has no life jacket. He's just in some draws and booking it in the water in November. That's a wild man, bro.
He does that every day. That
crazy.
must be some
Does he
sort
ever,
of calming.
Think like, yo, I'm like, nobody's out here to help me, bro.
Yeah, especially because he does
it later. That's a terrible thought to
later.
have that I'm having, but nobody's out here to help you, to save you if you start drowning, fam.
Dude, and even though I know there's no shark or alligator in here, there's part of me that doesn't believe there's not. Like, just being in this water right now, part of me would be like, something's gonna get me.
You can't see through the bottom,
Yeah.
Fucking piranha's gonna come up and eat you or some shit.
The water is
an alligator's gonna flip the boat over.
Dude, and for sure, I mean, there's got to be some dead bodies in here, right?
Bro. Yes. I feel like every body of water has dead bodies in that shit.
Especially right off the highway right there, dude. Somebody's dumped a body right there for sure. Damn.
I wonder how many dead bodies are out here, though. And, like, do they float automatically or do they sink? Because sometimes you see like on
In a
fucking
movie,
Law and Order, the
they're
body's
floating
floating,
down. Right.
but then other times
Yeah.
they sink to the bottom.
I think they float at first because you have like air and gas in you or something,
Yeah.
and then as
you
it
sink
leaves,
down?
then eventually it's
I
gonna
have
sink.
no idea.
But yeah, dude.
What if like floating bodies were dictated amongst race? It's like
I wonder if it's dictated amongst size though. Like, would a fat person float more than a?
damn.
I think that's actually true.
How many more obese people get killed and thrown in lakes though? Like you never see that on Law. I've never seen an obese person like floating in no river
Yeah.
after dying.
But
That's a good question.
I think about the what's the Baloo from the Jungle Book floating down the river. He seems like he floats easily.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um,
Cause that's a whole bear. That was a cartoon bear, but that'd be crazy though if you saw like a legit huge black bear just floating on its back down a river with a little like jungle boy sitting on its stomach and shit.
yeah. That's the thing about Texas. There's no real scary animals, are there? There's
Bro,
no bear.
yeah.
Is there? What is it?
They got brown bears out here.
Really?
They got bears out here. They have wild hogs, which are scary as fuck.
Not in Austin though, but this is like.
Probably close to Austin, they have wild
Oh,
hogs.
really?
Yeah, like if you want to hide a body, bro, real talk.
You just feed it to the hogs?
Bro, a hog will eat anything.
Dang.
A hog will eat whatever you put in front of it. It'll eat nails, hair, teeth, eyes. It doesn't matter. Like a hog will eat anything. They really talk about that. They really say like, yo, if you really want to hide a body, find where some wild hogs are. They will eat the entire body.
Dang.
Yeah, they're vicious fucks. Let's see. There's, after because I think there's more tigers in Texas than there are in the wild.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
And I remember I lived in the Houston area during Hurricane, was it Ike? I think Hurricane Ike. And
Not Harvey.
no, it wasn't Harvey. No. This was like, I was in high school. I was like 2010. But I remember when Hurricane Ike came over our house, somebody close had like some exotic animals that got out. So there was,
shit.
there was a fucking cougar just lurking around the fucking neighborhood.
Dang.
For a few months, for like a month or some shit.
It's
And
kinda
it got
cool.
captured again. It's kind of cool to you, like, see a cougar in real life in your neighborhood, and you're like, nah,
Yeah.
that's...
I mean, that's that might be worse than the drowning death. Is like I got eaten by a cougar in Houston, Texas.
There's
or
a
whatever.
lot of danger. You got rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes are scary as
yeah.
fuck. They'll fuck you up.
Snakes suck because they're hard to read.
Bro.
Snakes shows no emotion. They're just.
And, bro, they have no legs, and they can walk on water and climb trees.
Yeah, that's what I'd be scared of
If-
water snake being in here.
If there's anything that is the devil, I would say it's a snake. How do you move that swiftly but have no legs?
Serpents.
That's scary as fuck. Like
Fucking
a
serpent.
water moccasin, bro, it would be on water, on top of the water coming at us.
Yeah.
Like a water moccasin will get on its back tail and be like, they're aggressive little fuckers. They try to fuck you up. They'll chase you down.
Dude, aren't there some snakes or lizards that like spit venom and shit?
I think there's lizards that do that shit. There's one that they spit blood out their eye or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a defense mechanism. It's not poisonous, but blood out the eye though, that's pretty gnarly.
That's
Imagine
the devil.
if humans could do that. Just when we get angry, we instead of we just shoot blood out of our eye.
Yeah.
Imagine like starting beef with somebody like that. Like, hey, bitch,
Oh my god.
bloodied eye you.
Reptiles are that's the
gross.
devil's work.
Every girl's bleeding on each other. Would you bleed on somebody? If somebody was like really into it. It's like, yo, I'll pay you $1,000 to
Oh yeah, dude. I don't care.
to cut your right here.
I mean, I don't.
Like-
I would just be worried about getting hurt mostly. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
cause myself pain. I don't care about you putting the blood on you.
No. You
That's
you
not
gotta
tripping
cut
me
you gotta bring pain to yourself
Yeah.
and bleed out on a shorty.
I'm pretty.
Because that's what they're into.
I'm pretty weak when it comes to getting shots or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
When I would see in movies when they like cut their hand or what,
Yeah,
when do they do that?
I don't. Why is that such a popular thing in movies? I've never had an instant where I've had to do that in my life.
I think it's like when you need to put like blood, like a witch is making a something, or they need some human blood that like.
But they always cut it mad deep when you could really just poke your hand. You really could get the same effect by just going boop. And that would hurt, bro. I burned my hand with an iron one time, and that shit hurt for fucking months.
Well, the hand's the worst spot because you use your hands all the time. Like if you have a paper cut, it like you can't use your finger forever until it heals.
Yeah. Would you like across the hand if it was like a life or death situation? Yo, you gotta slice into your hand and bleed into this witch's cauldron.
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Somebody asked me a good question the other day and was like, okay, if you are walking next to some train tracks and you see a dog stuck on the train tracks and the train is coming, are you trying to save are you going to save the dog? Are you going to try to save the dog? You don't know if you're going to die, but you don't know that you're going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
This was on The Lonely Man's, right? Was that when they were talking about that?
I think it was.
Yeah. Because I was listening to that.
Yeah.
They were talking about
Ben. Shout out to Ben and Holly.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really fucking good question. So now I'm stealing their question and bringing it to your podcast, which I'm on.
I would do it, but I would dip out pretty early. Like I see the train coming, I'm trying to help, but I'm not cutting it close.
Yeah. Okay. You're not cutting it close. So the dog's dying, possibly.
Yeah. I think.
Don't feel bad.
Well, this might be a controversial opinion, but I think most dogs kind of have shitty lives nowadays. Like dude, there's so many dogs that are just in people's apartments that are just like to die. Yeah. like how many dogs that got hit by cars are just committing suicide because they hate their owner?
I knew a terrible dog owner. That was gnarly. I think that guy's dick is out. That's weird. I saw a pale white penis. That was fucking strange. And a burp.
Hey, don't brag.
Burping a pale whitey. That was wow. I had a friend who was a terrible dog owner. And he used to get so mad at his dog for being a dog. Yeah. And his dog was not trained at all. His dog was fucking terrible. His dog was so terrible.
Yeah.
And it would just have the worst diarrhea. And it would just shit in its cage, but it would explode against the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'd be like, Bones, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, love your dog.
Yeah.
Take it on a walk. It wants some attention and playtime.
Literally nobody has ever purposefully had explosive diarrhea.
No.
Why would anybody want, the dog is probably this.
I don't know, when you were a kid, you weren't one of those weird boys that were like, I like when I take it like a giant, shit.
Yeah, but I could just take a shit. I don't need it to be explosive diarrhea.
But
I don't need the runs.
The rare time that you do get explosive diarrhea when you were a kid, you weren't like, oh, fuck yeah, it's going down. No, explosive diarrhea is garbage.
Well, I think it's just panic up until then.
Yeah.
But afterwards, you start floating a little bit. And
yeah.
You're like, it's almost like you just got pulled out of the river.
I don't know. Sometimes it can be a relief, and sometimes it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is terrible.
It's like ayahuasca. You went through some shit.
Yeah. Have you done ayahuasca?
Yeah.
You did ayahuasca? Oh, shit.
I feel like nobody we know has done ayahuasca, right? I feel like it's a rich thing to do. You have to be rich.
Yeah. Well, to do it legit, you got to be rich.
Because you have to go to Peru or something, right?
I mean, they have places where you can do it in California, but I don't want to fucking do it with Chad and fucking Humboldt County and shit. I'm not trying to do. I want to go to the jungle. I want a fucking teepee.
It must feel kind of scary though, being in a foreign country, not speaking the language, and you're doing a 2,000-year-old drug,
and tripping balls for a week straight.
Yeah, that alone, without the drugs, doing the whole experience there is gonna be an experience.
Have you ever been in South America?
No. I mean, no.
Yeah, my sister lived in Costa Rica for 2 months.
Oh, really? You went and visit?
I didn't go visit. She was like, yeah, it's cool, but living there for 2 months was not tight.
Yeah.
She was like, I never want to go camping because every night was camping out there.
Haha.
Yeah, and she used to say, like, they would be walking and monkeys would be throwing shit at them. And they'd be walking. All they eat is beans out there. She says she was so tired of beans when she was done with
Dang.
the Costa Rica trip. There's all types of mad dangerous like bugs and shit you gotta watch out for out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, Costa Rica's not popping like that.
Mm.
It's a very poor country too. Like it's very like
Yeah.
poor. I think I don't think they have a lot of money at all. And stuff.
I'd like to visit, I think, but
Yeah, I'd want to visit, but
I think everywhere is worth visiting. Even if it's shitty, like sometimes like growing up in California, getting out of it and visiting other places made me appreciate where I came from more. Like just getting
Yeah.
perspective, like the things that I like about it and the things I don't. But I think it's good to just experience new places.
yeah, I feel like not enough people do that. Like where I'm from in Sherman, bro, so many people. I know so many people that were in like kindergarten together that are married together and have kids going through
Damn.
the same like exact same elementary school, middle school.
That's
Do
crazy.
the same thing over and over. It's just a cycle. And that's scary to me. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if you never move out of your hometown or like travel, it's like almost like never leaving your house.
Mm.
You know? It's almost like never leaving your room really.
Yeah.
You know, you just lock yourself in your room and like you think the world is like this and this is just what it is and nothing else is
Right.
like any different. But when I didn't start traveling until I was like 19.
Mm.
That's when I went to New York for the first time. And that shit blew my mind. Have you been to New York?
Briefly when I was like 14 or 13.
Yeah. New York is
I gotta go
fucking
back.
mind-boggling. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, I loved it when I was a
Yeah.
kid. I remember.
And I remember going there for the first time. Like, other than before going to New York when I was 19, I had only been to Oklahoma and Tennessee.
Yeah.
I hadn't been anywhere else. And those aren't, like, popping places really at all.
It's the same shit.
Yeah, but going to
just
New
kidding.
York, I was like, bro, this is America? Like, this is
Yeah.
crazy that this is just in the United States chilling.
Yeah.
Like, casual.
Dude, we're really lucky in a way that we have a country. I mean, it's a good and bad, but mostly good that there's so much diversity, not just in people, but in like geography.
Bro, geography.
In the U.S. Like, we got like 20 countries in one.
Bro, yeah.
Like
in
other-
California, just the fact that you can either go to the desert, the mountains, or the beach
Right.
all on the same day,
Yeah.
like, that's nuts. You
Yeah.
can't do that in Europe. Like, you can't do that type of shit in other places in the world.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, like the geography out in the U.S. is very slept on, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much shit out there. And then driving across the country
Yeah.
a couple times, like, you're like, whoa, like, there's a lot out here.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that's maybe what makes like people clash so much in the U.S. partly is like you got one president for a dude who lives in the middle of Montana as
Yeah.
the same as the person who lives in New York City, who lives in
Yeah.
Brooklyn. You know, it's like those are two
Completely fucking different.
lifestyles. Yeah.
Two that will
crazy.
never really understand each other at all.
Yeah.
No matter, like, how hard they try. Like, those
Yeah.
two types of lifestyles, just two completely different worlds. That was a close one.
Oh, fish.
Something just jumped, yeah.
Swamp monster.
Swamp monster, yeah, that's him.
But beneficial, I think, if both of the people, you know, did a wife swap or something like that,
That'd be
and did a position change or whatever.
That'd be weird. Imagine, like, they just gather, like, half of the population of New York City and half of the population of probably these 4 weird Midwestern small-ass states,
Yeah.
and then just made everybody switch lifestyles.
Yeah. Crazy.
You probably have a lot more understanding of something like that, or a lot more people, or just, like, mad, angry New Yorkers in fucking Montana.
Yeah.
Just, like, yelling at each other, yelling at the trees and shit. New York is tight, but you can't get away from the noise.
Yeah, that's
I
what
lived there for
scares me
3
about it.
months,
Oh, really?
and, like, that shit drove me crazy. I also, like, didn't get a single day off and was selling glasses, like, $600 glasses to fucking rich people.
Yeah.
every single day from October 31st until December 24th.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't have a single day off, and that shit just drove me fucking nuts. Because I would work from literally like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every night. And just dealing with like the holiday shitheads.
Ah, yeah.
You know, and the first half I stayed in Jersey City across the water, across the bridge. And then the second half I stayed on 96th Street in Manhattan. And it would just be like 3 o'clock in the morning and just sirens. Just
Damn.
fucking police sirens, fire truck sirens, ambulance sirens. You hear people yelling. You hear all types of shit at all hours. And it fucking drove me crazy. Because I was like, yo, dude. I need quiet. Like, I need not humans. Like, I need some trees. And you have Central Park, but you can still, like, see, like, the skyline and shit of New York.
You never get away,
Yeah, you never get away. It's literally 3 hours to actually get away from humans in New York.
That's crazy.
It's too. I would love to go to New York and do comedy for, like, a few months, but I don't think I could live a full year in New York City. Like, it's just too much. It's way too much stimulation.
Right.
The food is amazing.
Dude, that's what I like about Austin. It's like a nice in-between kind of. I mean, you can go downtown. You never get full-on New York, but you can get into a city that's big enough.
You can get city feel, and then you can
get out quick.
Shit like this, you know? Which is, like, dope. It's a slept-on city, but a dope-ass, like, thing. Like, they're calling Austin the third coast, which is crazy to think about.
Dude, I really think, I mean, the way things are, at least in, like, you know, comedy, like, you got LA, New York, and Austin really seems to be the third musketeer popping up.
Yeah, and, like, there's like, studios out here.
Netflix
too. Netflix built a new one. Robert Rodriguez has 2 studios out here. There's a lot of TV shows and films and stuff getting made out here right now, but that's been happening in Austin. Like, people don't know that. Like, you know the movie Alita Battle Angel? That was shot out here.
Right. Yeah, you were in it.
Yeah, I was in it. Yeah.
I still haven't. I watched it to see you in there.
It's a fire movie. Yeah. But yeah, that was shot out here, which is crazy to think about because that's fucking IMAX Fox Media Light film. Or
wait, how did that come about? You getting in that?
I lived in San Marcos, and I used to skip class to go and do like background extra work for TV shows. And I did that for like TV shows and movies, and I did that for 4 years out here. And then I saw something for, Robert Rodriguez's new project is casting. And I was like, what the fuck? Robert Rodriguez? Like, I definitely want to do a Rodriguez film. Yeah. So I just sent in for a general background, and then literally 2 hours later, one of the casting people called me up and were like, oh my God, we love your look. We love your hair. That's the first thing she said. She said, we love your hair. We want to bring you in for a fitting.
You're like, what about me, though?
Yeah. What about, do you love me? I didn't know what none of the terminology meant.
Here, you can have it.
Yeah. They were just like, yo, come in at this time. So I said, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I remember getting dressed. Jessica Alba's costume from Sin City was in the room with me. And I was like,
let me try this on.
It's kind of fucking gnarly. I wanted to. It's like, damn, I could pull these tights off. My bosom would look nice in these.
That's funny that they had that in there. Just
it was very random.
Flex or what?
Yeah, I guess a Robert Rodriguez flex.
Yeah.
But then, like I did the fitting or whatever, and then next thing I know, I'm on this fucking $200 million film set, and so like they made me check in with background, but then they took me to where like principal was at. So that's like where the directors and main actors and shit are at. Because I got a featured role in it, so I was deemed more important according to those people.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and so then next thing I know, I'm like eating lunch, watching Robert Rodriguez talk to fucking Mahershala Ali or whatever. And then James Cameron was there the first day I was there, and he's just sitting over there casually eating. Yeah, and I'm just around these fucking killers, right? These fucking
crazy
legends. Yeah, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Whatever. And yeah, man, like I got to be with like the lead actors throughout the whole thing. Robert Rodriguez, I remember he came and talked to me personally to give me direction. He was like, we're dealing with cyborgs. We're dealing with cyborgs. And in my head, I was like, I don't know what the fuck this means, but Robert Rodriguez is telling me this, so I gotta know what's popping right now. We're dealing with fucking cyborgs, dog.
Does he know it's a movie, or does he think this is real life?
It was wild. I don't think he knew that it was a movie. The way he would work was so interesting. So
it's a documentary.
I only would see him whenever he was talking to like actors to give him like thing. He would just disappear whenever shit was happening, and then you just see him pop out of nowhere. And he wears all black all the time, so you would just see him pop out of nowhere with 3D glasses on, and come and talk to people. Yeah, he wore 3D glasses the entire time.
Was the movie in 3D?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was shot in 3D, so I think he's like a. I know James Cameron is like a 3D like fiend or whatever, so he's like a stickler about it. Dang, we're back.
Brace yourself, dude. It's about to get dark. Hold on, finish your story. Hold on.
Yeah, it was nuts. I shot for like 2 weeks, a week in November and a week in February. And then after that, I was like, oh, I'm a fucking actor out here. I'm about to move to LA, become a superstar.
Yeah.
And then I did that. Didn't become a superstar. I realized I fucking hate being around actors because they're just not fun humans to hang around, really. I started doing comedy. Yeah.
And here we are.
Brought that shit back. Nico, this was fucking dope, bro.
This was dope.
This was fire. This is such a good conversation.
Yeah, dude, I've enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah,
I hate that it got dark. I could have talked longer.
Shit was mad organic. How do I escape out of this bitch?
Okay.
Bro,
let me try to hold it.
This is such a good idea for a podcast, bro. Podcast on a boat.